What's going on, horror fans? Cheers, Ghoul 2018.
It's all here, man.
2017 is done already, so
Thank fuck. With all the people we lost over the year,
it was not a good
fuck
year.
It's over.
Well, we were glad to be back on Descend to Hell. I'm Skid Gore.
Ghoul, as always.
And we're gonna have a good show for you guys. It's gonna be a paranormal
ghosts,
ghosties,
haunted houses,
all that crazy shit.
Anything that goes bump in the night.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it. Don't get it confused with like possession. We're not going to be talking about possession films. That's a totally different entity, literally.
And we'll have a nice tribute to Amicus British horror film as well.
All you British horror fans out there, Hammer Films, definitely. So
join us.
That being said, cheers, guys. Welcome back to Descend to Hell 2018.
Let's do it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 6, 6.
Hey guys, welcome back. We are going to start 2018 off with one of the mainstays of Descent into Hell, which is our recent watches. So without further ado, Skid Gore, take it away with your recent watch. You get all the breadcrumbs off of there.
I have Savage Harvest.
Oh yeah.
I really enjoyed this movie. Both myself and Ghoul are big fans of the director Eric Stanze. Definitely Ratline, Ice from the Sun, Scrapbook, definitely, yeah. Man. Scrapbook blew our minds.
One of the best serial killer films since Henry.
Absolutely. Savage Harvest is Eric Stanze's first movie he's ever done. He was only 21 when he filmed this, which is pretty amazing when you think of this.
Said something about our film career.
Yeah. Kind of a homage to Evil Dead, possession, demon possession in the woods type stuff. You really can't trust. You don't know who's who if your friend is a demon or, It has a lot more going on than just a typical Evil Dead ripoff, because it's not, but it just pays homage to it.
This is the comedy.
Definitely pays homage to it. And I think it's really a great film, and not a lot of people talk about it. I think it's extremely underrated. Savage Harvest is great. Really good. Definitely a good forest atmosphere, with fogs and stuff.
That's one.
Yeah, it'll be more. We're doing ghosts, so there'll be a shitload of atmosphere in this one. Lot of mist and fog.
This will be our atmosphere episode.
We'll just call it atmosphere.
Get ready for it.
Right, fuck you. Anyway, yeah. Savage Harvest is great. Check it out. You can find it on Amazon.
What can't you find on Amazon?
True. Well, there's a couple movies you can't find on Amazon.
Not cheap.
Some of his movies you can't find, like Ice from the Sun. I had to get that one on eBay.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Scrapbook too. I ended
now
up
you do. Now it's.
But yeah, Savage Harvest is great. Good demon possession film. Check it out. One of his first films. Go, what you got?
I got one that's been talked about quite a lot. The French-Belgium, drama horror Raw.
Raw.
This is one of those movies that cover-wise, you're intrigued by it, but man, it's a cannibal film at its best.
Oh yeah. If we would have had that for our cannibal episode,
it would have been on there.
Yeah.
But this is like one of those movies. Basically, Justine, who's a 16-year-old girl, she's a vegetarian, and she goes to veterinary school with her sister, and finds out, during the hazing and stuff like that. Not to get too much away, but she ends up eating meat at one point, and finds out she has a real big lust taste for it.
I would say.
And it kind of spirals down out of control, and basically she just kind of really goes apeshit anything for a piece of meat.
Yes, that is definitely a keeper.
This is one of those movies. It's good all around. The acting is great. The kind of the twists and turns that come all through it. The first time when her friend's like trying to sew up whatever, and like cuts her finger, like she wakes up after passing out and finds her eating.
Why are you eating me?
It's just it's one of those things where when you watch it, you're just like, man, like the emotion is so great. She falls in love, but she really can't, do that kind of.
She's pretty cute too.
And then your sister has this like dark secret, and it's kind of this whole family thing. And really, definitely a must see. It's from last year, 2016.
Raw is great. Savage Harvest is great.
Out.
Those are our recent watches. We shall return.
Cheers, guys.
What's going on, horror fiends? Back again. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be a paranormal, ghosties, haunted house, boo, boo type shit. This will be cool. So yeah, without further ado, go. Oh, by the way, this is going to be top. What do we got? 26, 25?
26 in
the
this
last
one each.
5 are going to be our favorite of all time. So these are in no order whatsoever.
The first 21 are not, at least.
Yeah. Just kind of throw them at you.
And of course, like anything in our normal countdowns, we're probably going to have some of the same films because
we
at
don't
some
know.
point there's such great films that you just you can't help it.
It makes it kind of fun too, like we've done in the past. You know, dude, I don't know what your movie is. You just know mine. So let's do it. Go what you got.
All right. I have one from, let's see, this was in 2013, The Devil's Door. IFC Midnight, of course, we talked about them being one of the premier companies that really puts out really great modern horror films. This one is actually directed and written by Nicholas McCarthy, who also did the movie The Pact and The Pact 2. If anybody has seen some of those movies, great, just creepy movies. Basically, like most haunted houses, like I guess most haunted house type films or paranormal films, there's always a house being sold. Like somebody's selling a house that's got this checkered past, and there's no difference.
Either somebody's selling a house, or there's a little girl with long black hair over her face, or something.
But Devil's Door is no exception to that rule. Basically, this real estate agent is trying to get rid of this house with this, kind of weird past about possession and stuff, and her and her sister kind of get dragged into this thing, and now they got to fight it together. And really great thriller type atmospheric film. That's one. But yeah, it kind of borders around, like, if you ever watched the movie What Lies Beneath with like Harrison Ford. It's kind of something like that, where it's just the little jump scares here and there, but it's got this real elegant kind of feel to it, creepy in a way. You check out.
I have that one on my shelf, but I never watched it. I'll check it out.
Definitely check that one out. It's really good from IFC Midnight. The Devil's Door.
Well, my first one I have here, I believe this is Hong Kong. Yeah, Hong Kong. We have
sorry about the
Seeding of a Ghost. No one ever talks about this movie. Chaz Balin of Deep Red fame. Pretty much how I learned about it. A lot of people too. Really just, Hong Kong crazy.
Over the top.
Just personally what Ghoul said, over the top type gore and really good horror elements with the ghost being impregnated. This woman being impregnated and comes back for revenge. That's never a good thing. So yeah, Seeding of the Ghost, good, really good movie.
Nice. Moving on from 1980. The Hearse. Not very talked about film as well. Basically, this woman who's kind of dealing with a lot of these life problems ends up getting this house from her aunt, I believe. I think it's her aunt that dies and gives her this nice, really big house. But on her way to the house, she gets run off the road and almost in a head-on collision with a hearse. But this hearse really isn't real, in a sense. But basically, it's kind of like a pact with the devil, but the house has got these possession spirits. This hearse kind of is always constantly outside in this real, like you see in the picture here, like the bright lights in the background with this hearse, and the back door always opens up and there's all this fog, and it's a really cool, creepy movie from
no tall man in that one.
No tall man.
Boy.
But it's this house has obviously got this history, and she kind of inherits that from her aunt. So check out 1980's The Hearse.
I think that's actually a pretty rare movie too. I think Katarina's Nightmare Theater put that out, and I think it went out of print. So maybe you'd be able to find it if you kind of hunt for it. But
I'm sure.
I would definitely be a good one. Well, this next one is kind of obvious here. Little Pet Cemetery.
Nice.
Yeah, go for it.
Go there, Lewis.
Yep.
Right on
We talk like what was his name? Judd, yeah.
Otherwise Herman Munster.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fred Gwynn.
Late
Rest
Fred
in
Gwynn.
piss. Rest in peace, absolutely.
Rest in piss. What?
He was a great actor. Yeah, he sells them in this as Judge. They're really
such a
nice.
creepy
Next
movie.
door neighbor.
Yeah, and the real ghost element is
sour.
the real ghost element comes with the jogger.
Yeah,
what's his name?
Pascal.
Pascal.
Yeah.
Like it comes up more.
Creeped me when I was a kid.
That cover, the original.
Yeah.
Well,
This
I think he's on. Yeah, he's on that. And it's one of those things where it's obviously I'm gonna take over this fucking.
Oh yeah, we both love this movie. Definitely Zelda put some color in both our shorts when we were young.
I think every kid who watches scared the shit out of me. Well,
Never wake up again.
Oh my god, man, I'm just creeped just thinking about it. Of course, the little boy,
Gage.
Gage,
Is that you?
yeah, he puts on a stellar performance as a little demonic rugrat with a scalpel cutting people's.
Tendons,
Tendons,
mouths, necks. You name it.
How did
Eyes
you
gouged.
get in here? And of course,
But I think, if you haven't seen this movie, which I guess we're not going to give any spoilers, because if you haven't seen this movie and you're watching this horror cast, we got problems.
yeah,
But the ending when his wife comes back in the kitchen, and it's just like he expects every time it's going to be different.
oh, it's
like her
different.
eyes
It's just not what he wanted.
And his eyes gouged out and stuff.
Get the butcher knife.
That creeped me the hell out when I saw her and her eyes all like leaking
So
out.
many great movies, so many great moments.
Stephen King book, of course, read the book. The book is actually, I think, right up there with this movie. This is a great adaptation of the book.
Directed by Mary Lambert.
Yeah.
Excellent film. Pet Sematary could go wrong. Ooh, what you got?
All right, I'm doing the remake of House on Haunted Hill. I really do like this movie. This is one of the really, I think, better remakes. You know, we had obviously our remake episode. I don't remember if this made the list, but
I don't think so.
but no, this one took a real kind of.
It's a fun one.
It took a real interesting approach to it, and a more modern take on it.
Big Satan
But I cannot remember who did the main Jeffrey Rush. Maybe? I can't remember who did Vincent Price's character. I can't remember.
Oh, I don't know, but he looks just like him.
He
And his
does
name
a-
is Stephen Price, which is funny.
he does a great.
He looks just
portrayal.
like Vincent Price
Yes.
still, man.
And
Awesome.
the creepiest part of this movie, and I always remember, is when they have the night vision cameras and they're walking through, and the girl opens the door, and there's this empty room, and she holds up the camera, and you see these doctors working on.
Dr. Vatican.
Yep. And he's open. They're working on the patient, and like she puts it down, doesn't see nothing, puts it back up, and then you just see him like turn his head. They all turn their heads and look, and it's just this like big shot of just like the jump scare. It is definitely.
It's a fun one.
It's a great.
Jeffrey
remake.
Combs is Dr.
Jeffrey Combs.
Vatican.
Yep. So definitely check that one out if you guys have not yet.
A lot of
Also
really,
check out the
a lot of
original.
really hot women that I forgot their names, but they're
When
really.
the black man dies first. No, he doesn't actually.
No, he doesn't. He survives, which
Which
is insane.
How he did, yeah.
You know, I had nothing to do with this. I was adopted. One of the dumbest lines in horror. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Hey. Whatever.
I have
Hey, there it is.
The Pact.
Yes.
This movie, fucking mind blowing, man. You want to talk atmosphere, Jack? This one has it. This one is. This is such a creepy movie. I remember I told you about this one. I told you I watched the movie last night that actually generally creeped me out.
Yep.
You're like, what was it called? It's called The Pact. You know, and this movie really delivers on all cylinders.
Even the second one was pretty good.
I have the second one, but I never watched it.
It's
it really
it's
good?
up there, yeah.
Cool, I'll
It's
check it
definitely
out.
worth it.
I'll check her out.
So
Is the
definitely check
the
out-
same chick in it too?
I'd have to look. I don't even remember.
Annie? Yeah, this is a really good movie from IFC Midnight. They, like Google said before, with the doors, whatever the
Devil's
fuck-
Door.
Yeah,
Same
they
director.
make some
so-
great.
And same director as that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
they put out some great movies, paranormal movies and whatnot. So yeah, The Pact is great. This movie is really creepy, like really creepy.
Color in your shorts kind of movie.
Color in your shorts movie. Yeah, we should make a section called Color in Your Shorts.
From 1981, The Entity.
Oh man, Barbara Hershey.
Barbara Hershey. Like the chocolate.
Hershey scored something.
From also Insidious, the original, not the. Or. No. Yeah. No, never mind.
I don't know. That's the movie where the chick gets raped by the ghost in the shower.
Yep. And then it kind of follows her around to like the car and just it never leaves her.
It never
alone.
leaves her.
Literally.
Really cheesy fucking ending.
He got a taste and just wanted more.
And I love the music in that movie. It's like boom, 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 boom.
It's so
with the drumming. And
yes, it's
yeah.
so 80s, 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
Like the Cannibals or Zombie, like like it's just the Entity 1981. Check that one out.
movie.
It's a really wonderfully made film.
It really is good. I don't care for the ending personally,
Yeah.
but you know, it is
Not
what
too
it
bad.
is. And also, that movie is based on a somewhat true case.
Yeah, it was a book that was written
Yeah.
and it was based kind of off that book.
Yeah, but getting raped by a ghost in the shower, man, that
Yeah.
was.
I mean, if she was hot.
Unless it was like the ghost of Soul Dead Miranda, you know, and that would be fine. Yeah, we have another hot one. Deborah Kerr in The Innocents. This is such a classic movie. Everyone should have seen this. I mean, this is right up there with The Shining as far as horror, as ghost type movies go. So it kind of started a lot of, obviously the others, couple other movies too, really based on it. Deborah Kerr is also known for Legend of Hell House, which is another classic ghost movie as well.
Great movie.
But yeah, she's great in this one. Really good supernatural horror. It's from 61. Check it out. That one plays on AMC sometimes.
We're going on to Macabre Films' Housebound. This is kind of a dark, very dark comedy.
New Zealand.
Yep, New Zealand.
Mate?
This was kind of it's kind of, this girl goes back to her home where she kind of grew up, but things kind of like aren't what they used to be.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are going on that are just ghostly and just weird.
Dysfunctional family.
Yeah, and it's there's a hostile spirit in there that's not exactly like happy she's back.
No.
And kind of fucks with her.
Shit kind of hits the fan.
But
Definitely
yeah,
got
it's-
that New Zealand classic humor, like, you know, Dead Alive or Bad Taste or something.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's got that kind of like little, you know, jabs, you know, of comedy in there, but I always love the cover. It just it was so creepy looking with that ghost or whatever.
Yeah.
Definitely a good what was this, it's fairly recent, 2014,
recent,
so
Good.
definitely check out Housebound.
It's a good modern one. There, we're going to go back a little bit here.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of back and forth. there, I think.
76, Kathy's Curse. This easily could have made my
yeah.
top 5 personally. Yeah, this actually really could have made my top 5. I absolutely love this movie. Really good release from Severin. Finally giving it the justice that this fucking movie deserves. Because for years I had that fucking, what was it, Mill Creek version or whatever that looked like
The one I got?
fucking total dog shit. Yeah.
I have the one that there's not even like the
But-
real girl on the cover.
Yeah, that's right. I have that one too.
Yeah.
But yeah, they really gave this film justice, and this movie really needs to be seen by more people. It really does. It's a great killer kid movie, possession type movie, ghost movie. It has so much for true horror fans, and I really think it's a great film. Absolutely excellent. Kathy's Curse.
Oh yeah. All right, we're moving back to the 60s. This would have been 63. The Haunting.
Robert Wise, baby.
Oh, it's another supernatural type scare, but these people were kind of put into this called Hill House, and they go in there. Obviously, like most haunted house type films, a lot of weird shit happens. You know, it was 63. Give it a break. But definitely very atmospheric, very creepy.
That movie's mostly known for not even seeing anything. It's all in your head. It's
Yeah.
all psychological.
It's a psychological, supernatural type thing, and it's one of those things where it's like you play on when somebody gets murdered and you just see the shadows of things happening. You know, it's your imagination. That's they did this before anybody else did. You know,
Absolutely, Robert Wise is a great director. That movie also stars Richard Johnson,
Yep.
who was in one of me and Google's favorite movie, Fulci's Zombie. Look, I know supernatural ain't supposed to happen, but it does happen. Any white zombie fans know what that's from. Now, this movie, I doubt anyone out there won't even know. I mean, this is so under the radar. It's from Brain Damage Films, which is kind of a hit or miss with me personally.
For everybody.
But I absolutely love this movie. It's called The Traveler. And the cover does not do the movie justice.
Looks cool.
Yeah.
Suffocated.
I mean, if you saw this, you'd be like, it's one of those bargain bin bullshit motherfuckers, you know? But really, it's a great movie. It's by Jine R. Skrinak. I can't say his last name, I'm sorry. I'm actually friends with him on Facebook. He's a very nice guy. He was amazed I even knew this movie. It's like, wow, you knew that movie? That's cool. But this is really, really good. It's extremely, extremely gory. I can't believe how gory this movie was. Like, I mean, I first got this movie in one of those 50 Pendulum Pictures box set, you know, things. It wasn't this one. I just recently got this one. But I'd known the film for a long time, and I was a big fan of it. And I even know it had a solo release, which is really cool. And it deserves it to be seen by more people that are gore hounds. Undescribable. You just gotta see it. You gotta experience The Traveler.
I watch that one.
Ghoul, you'd fucking love
I've
this
seen
movie,
that
dude.
one.
You would fucking love it. I could probably give you my old one if you want.
Oh, we got a doozy here. The Hoff. In Witchery.
Oh, Linda Blair.
Yep, also known as Ghost House 2. This is part of the Ghost House
I've
series.
actually never seen that movie. I've seen the covers as a kid all the time.
Pregnant Linda Blair's in here.
Oh, wow.
Pregnant.
David Hasselhoff's kid.
Yep. Joe Diamato, of course, of Anthropophagus and Darkness.
But there's a lot of boobs in that movie, then.
Probably, well, if I remember correctly, not really.
I've never seen it, so I can't say.
Really not a whole lot, but this is from 88, so this is coming off on Exorcist 2.
Who knows? That movie never happened as far as I'm concerned.
Basically, they just buy this house, of course, and just a lot of kind of shit happens. Really great effects in this movie, of course, for a Diamato movie.
Joe Amato?
Or Joe Amato. Joe Diamato.
Diamato.
But yeah, so great, obviously, effects in here. Darkman was taking over Skids' body.
I'm sorry, I love music's moving.
So definitely check out Witcher from 1988. You won't be disappointed, even though the Hoff. But David Hasselhoff, of course, we know is also in horror because he's in Terror at London Bridge, which is also another good Jack the Ripper movie. So,
and he's also in Piranha DD.
And he's in Piranha Triple D. So David Hasselhoff in movies and horror films, not always the worst thing. Just because he was in Baywatch and Knight Rider,
I'll be there.
does not mean he can't act in horror films. So definitely check out the Hoff.
I'll be checking out Witchery for sure.
Great movie.
I always wanted that one.
Joe Diamato, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, Anthropophagus. Great. I almost said season 9. Session 9. This movie, this is a really creepy movie. It's I gotta say, it filmed at Danvers State Mental Hospital, and if anyone knows where that is a very creepy mental facility. I think they tore it down.
They all are.
Yeah, but this one is like known to reports, ghosties for sure, paranormal.
Ghosties.
Like a lot of paranormal investigators go there, and just that's pretty much where they learn their craft is at that place, from what I hear. I believe they might have torn that down. No, don't quote me on that. I heard they tore it down and built a bunch of apartment complexes because they were sick of homeless people like breaking in and living.
Which happens to most of this stuff. I mean, people are intrigued by ghosts, man.
Yeah, but this movie is really good, man. It came around the same time as probably the Blair Witch craze and stuff like that. But it's really, really good. Excellent. Check out season 9. Session 9. Session 9.
Season 10, season 11, whatever. All right, 2000. This is fairly 2004. White Noise, Michael Keaton. This movie kind of ranks up there with that new era of like White Noise, Stir of Echoes with Kevin Bacon, like these kind of bigger name stars were in these kind of horror films. Now, White Noise is pretty much what you would expect, where they White Noise being like the TV, the older TVs and stuff when you would get the blank channels.
I remember the rabbit ears.
Well, yeah, and you were able to. Some of these ghost hunters seem to think that you can reach the another world through this white noise, and definitely really it is a creepy movie. It does take on a new era. It's kind of
What year did it come out?
2004.
All right.
So it's kind of like the craze. It took off the craze of like paranormal shows like Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, things like that, where they were starting to experiment with these kind of things. So this was kind of before its time, but definitely came out right around that time. But definitely check out. It's one that's not talked about too much, but definitely check out White Noise from 2004.
Right on.
I thoroughly enjoyed
Yeah, kind of another recent one as well. Who likes this one as well?
Probably.
Just trying to find the year on it. They never on these Dimension DVDs. They never
What
put
is
the
it?
year. It's like 2000 something. It's the Sixth Sense.
2006.
Oh, is it?
Or no.
No, it can't be
2003? 2002? I think it's like 2002, 2003.
I don't know, but it's 107 minutes.
It does not seem that way, though, when you're watching it.
It's a great movie, man. One of my favorite, Bruce Campbell. My God. Have another one, Skip Gord.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis. Yes.
Willis.
Bruce Willis.
Die Hard himself.
Yes. This is a great movie.
Creepy-ass movie.
I mean, we could talk about this movie forever. Just the scenes alone, like, you know, the part where the little kid, come on, I found my dad's gun, you know, and he walks in.
And he turns around, big gun
Yeah,
shot.
that was
the
creepy.
biker who gets hit, and they're like, "Oh, I can't see what's going on."
Oh,
And
yeah.
it pans, and there she is standing outside.
The woman got,
She got killed on a bike.
Yeah, the woman
And then
got
she
hurt.
just
How do you
shows
know?
up-
Because she's standing outside.
And you see it, and it's just a shot. And then there's also that when they're walking through the school, and Bruce and the kid are walking through the school, and all of a sudden they show up the bodies hanging there.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where, yes, you know.
And the first time you watch this movie, and it's a real treat if you've never seen this movie. I'm sure a lot of people have.
It was
But if you don't see this movie, if you've never seen this movie, check it out, because the first time you watch it, you will never know that ending was coming.
No,
you'll never know. I never knew it. I mean, I never knew that he. Yeah, I can't say it because I'm not gonna give it away. But it's a great surprise. It's a great build up, I guess.
This was like when the
I See Dead People.
Yep,
that's pop culture. I mean, you'll hear that on Mad TV, Saturday Night Live. I mean, anything. South Park.
Those
I See Dead People.
Horror parody shit movies. I can't think what they're called, but yeah.
The Sixth Sense is gold. I love it.
Yes.
What was it? M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan, yeah.
He did.
All right, Synapse, another 1973, Lamora.
Fucking A.
This is a creepy ass movie.
Damn right, son. One of my favorites.
It's kind of it's got demons. It's
Vampires.
It's got the little girl in white who just shows up, and really, this was just, if you have not seen it, it's one of those, if you like those 70s. It's got the 70s vibe to it.
It's a made-for-TV movie originally.
Originally, yeah.
Which I don't know how they got away with that.
Well, it's kind of like how it got away with a lot of stuff from made
Right.
for TV. But if you've never seen this, you gotta check out Lamora from 1973. Synapse, like I said, did put this one out, so you obviously know
It's a treat.
it's a great release.
That is a great
A lot of
movie.
special features to that one, so definitely want to check that
That
out.
is, Lamora is a great movie, guys. Check that one out.
Yeah. Not talked about too much, which is
I don't think so. Neither is this one.
There's a lot of them that aren't talked
Death
about.
Ship from 1980. Now, this is actually one of my favorite movies of all time as well. George Kennedy, rest in peace.
Oh, just kidding.
Is captain possessed by a Nazi captain, I guess as you could say, because he's a normal
It was a
captain.
Nazi ship,
He
yeah.
wanted to retire. You could tell he didn't want to be on the ship.
Yeah.
And then they had that accident, and then he was kind of stuck with the survivors
Yep.
because he wanted to live.
He
You know?
was so annoyed.
Yeah, you could tell he was annoyed.
Yeah.
But he gets possessed by the spirit of a Nazi captain when they board this huge fucking ship that comes out of nowhere, a ghost ship.
Out of the fog.
Go figure.
Yeah, out of the fog.
The fog, absolutely. Can't have a ship without fog. But yes, it's a great movie. The blood shower scene, or whatever you
Yeah, when
want to call
it just starts showering blood when she's in that thing. Then she gets trapped in there. And she can't
Yeah.
get out. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah.
We just sent door hell week door. This
Great movie.
Great movie. I don't know if you all been watching us in the past, but we did a George Kennedy tribute when he passed,
away,
and
yeah.
we definitely talked about this movie as well.
Of course.
Excellent.
Might have to go back in the archives for that one.
Yep. Do your homework.
All right. Another a pretty fairly recent one. This is 2000. See, I don't even know the dates of all these anymore. 2013, The Conjuring. This is the original. I mean, the other ones were not that bad. I think they're up to like 9 or 10. No, I'm just kidding.
Annabelle sucked ass.
Yeah, like when they started doing all these things, but the original actually was a cool concept.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of found footage, but it was kind of this following the fuck's their names, the Warrens. who are
Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yep, a husband and wife. It was actually based on they were a real couple. They actually really did go to people's houses and basically scam them out of money.
They're known for discovering the Amityville.
Yep. So, you know, they go out and they scam this family thinking like, hey, we're going to get some kind of free money, publicity, all that. Well, they end up finding out that shit's real. And they don't really know how to handle that. And it's a lot of twists and turns. Yeah, a little bit, because they like leave the house thinking, yeah, this is great. And then
the greatest part, my favorite part in that movie, is not even a scary part. It's the fact that if you are a true horror fan and a fan of Paranormal, you will know who Ed and Lorraine Warren are in the real Lorraine Warren.
Yep.
And when they're doing that seminar, the actors that are portraying them,
yeah.
the real Lorraine Warren is actually in the front row. She's that woman with the beehive.
Yep.
Yeah, that's actually her. And I caught that the first fucking time I saw it. I'm like, holy shit, that's Lorraine Warren, the real one.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So it's definitely, The Conjuring was always, I always thought the original, the first one was the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said, a lot of these films, they come out with like a second and third one. I don't necessarily think...
I never saw the second one officially, but Annabelle sucked.
Yeah, and then they do Robert, and then they make like a third Annabelle film. Yeah,
was Robert connected to the
Yes,
Conjuring?
it was.
Oh, was it? I don't know.
Yeah, it was that possession doll thing, which I'd rather watch Dead Silence or something if I'm going to watch possessed dolls.
Right on. From 2007, one of my personal favorite movies.
Oh, Dark Remains.
Dark Remains is so fucking underrated. I can't even begin to tell you how underrated this movie. No one ever fucking talks about this movie. I showed Ghoul this movie recently, last year sometime.
Yeah.
He fucking loved it. It was amazing.
I went out and bought it, so.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
It's amazing movie, amazing atmosphere. This movie has so much atmosphere with the house, the cabin, the haunted car.
Everything.
Just the fact that there's this couple that always seem to commit suicide in this cabin, and it's kind of like a reoccurring thing. Like, what is it, like every
7 years?
some shit like that? Yeah, like it's a curse. A great movie, really creepy scene. The scene that really put some color in my drawers was the scene where that ghost fucking comes down the stairs after that black guy.
Yeah.
And it just kind of, it's like, it looks like fucking like something out of The Exorcist. Like, it's like fucking possessed and shit. And then when the main character's, the male actor, I forget his name offhand, but his black guy is his friend, he comes back, he's like, do you really believe in all this stuff? And he's like, no, I don't. And that's why it scared the hell out of me. I was like, wow, that was a good line, because it's in his head, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Dark Remains. You said Dark Remains. Dark Remains.
Good movie too.
It's a great paranormal movie. Check it out. Excellent. Very criminally underrated. I heard about this one through Fango, old Fango. So.
Criminally underrated.
Criminally underrated. It's a great movie.
We all knew this was going to happen. There it is.
Oh, first one.
Of course, we talked about The Pact already.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Damn it.
See, good
and we were actually doing pretty well up until this point.
Mm-hmm.
We knew it was going to happen.
This is what kind of makes it fun, though, because it's like, dude, I don't want to know your shit. He's like, dude, I don't know your shit, so it's fun, man.
Yeah.
It's all in fun.
Hey, it kind of makes it a little quicker for you guys, right?
Here we go. Superstition. Superstition.
Superstition.
Don't single.
Writings on the wall.
From 1982. This movie. Yeah, the writing is on the wall in this one.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys might have seen one of our past episodes where there's a priest that gets killed with the fucking saw coming off of a.
Yep.
Yeah, you
breaks
know what I
off
mean?
or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's from this movie, and it's a great scene. But man, this movie is really good. It's one of the. I think it's one of the first movies that actually has ample amounts of gore mixed with supernatural elements and demon possession. So you get like the best of both worlds.
I mean, Ghost House is the only other one that comes to mind
Ghost
where it's
House
got
too,
the
absolutely.
gore and ghost stuff.
Yeah, and that's from the 80s as well. 80s was a great time. But Superstition is a great movie. Another very criminally underrated movie, just like Dark Remains, I think, for 80s at least. This movie, I have no idea why, but this movie goes for ridiculous prices. I have no idea.
Some of them
why.
do because somebody jumps on the band.
I mean, Anchor Bay released this one, and I don't know if that's obviously must be out of print or whatever, but this goes for criminally insane amounts. But you probably watch it on YouTube to save some money. Otherwise, it's a good bang for your buck, man. It's really good. Definitely needs to be seen by more people for horror fans.
Yeah.
Really good gore, too, as well. Good story, Superstition.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a little fiver here. Got a refill on.
Refill.
Some beer. So
Show return.
let's take you guys.
Right as my favorite Dark Throne song plays. Great.
Let's take you out to some Dark Throne, guys. Cheers. We'll be back. Let's kill something. All right, guys, welcome back to Descent into Horror Hell. We are gonna continue our ghost portion of this episode.
Our Scooby-Doo mystery episode.
Right? Yeah. All right, I'm doing from 1970. Shit, what was it? 73?
I don't know, I can't see it.
House of Seven Corpses.
Oh.
John Carradine, John Ireland.
73, 74, something like that.
Basically, a film crew goes inside this house to kind of capture ghosts, which actually turned out that there was murders in this house, and well, that apparently never ended. And this crew is basically kind of trying to fight their way out of here. Very, very good, well-made movie.
I hardly hear anyone ever talk about that.
Yeah, House of Seven Corpses. Probably like 73. If I'm wrong on that,
Put a comment below. At least we know you watched it.
But definitely check that one out. And of course, everybody knows John Carradine, John Ireland as well. So
John Carradine.
Definitely check out House of Seven Corpses.
Classic. I have a little modern.
See, the number 7. I love the 70s. 70s were great for
70s
satanic movies. They were great for
70s
ghost
and 80s,
films.
the Satanic Panic. That was the greatest.
Slashers. I mean, you crazy.
We were born too late.
I was born in the 80s.
I was born in '83, so I was born when Jaws 3 came out. So.
Hey, lucky you.
2015, we have the great Brian Paulin and Cryptic Plasm. Now, I mean, if you watched this far, you know that both myself and Ghoul are huge fans of Morbid Vision films and Brian Paulin. Excellent films like Bone Sickness, Blood Pigs, At Dawn They Sleep,
yeah.
Fetus, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cryptic Plasm is one of his newer films.
When it took a while to come out, I know.
Yes, it did, actually. All his films do, because he always runs
money issues,
but he wants to direct a good product. You know?
Yeah.
And he
you don't just put out shit or some hokey ending where you ran out of blood or budget.
Yeah,
you know?
He never runs out of blood. Morbid Vision films are fans that make horror movies for fans.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. They're gore fans.
Yep.
I love it. This is a really good movie. It is a paranormal investigating type with a lot of over-the-top gore thrown in. Really unique. Very, very unique movie. Check it out. Really good Cryptoplasm. If you like over-the-top gore mixed with kind of supernatural elements, I would say this would be your bread and butter. Support Morbid Vision films.
From 1960. What? 60?
13 Ghosts.
The original 13 Ghosts. This one was I think
William
Castle, of course, from House on Haunted Hill, the original as well.
Showbiz.
He knew his ghost films. But this was kind of there were 13 ghosts that were trapped inside this house, and this doctor or scientist, whatever you want to call him, basically kind of wanted to, bring them all together and harness some weird power, some buried treasure, some shit like that.
Yeah, there's a fortune somewhere.
And it don't end up very well for him.
Get those cool goggles where you can see the ghosts.
Yeah.
And that was ahead of its time too. Like,
oh yeah.
The way that when you put on the goggles and you actually saw the ghosts.
Yep.
That was ahead of its time. It really was. Yep. That shot alone. And I remember the shot with the lion or the tiger, wherever it was in the basement. That was fucking cool.
The Wailing Lady and everything like
yeah.
that. But
that was a good movie.
The other one's not in there, but the remake with Tony Shalhoub in it from Monk. Can't think of his name.
That's the one where the lawyer gets split in half
through the door. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one, but that one had the jackal, and the jackal was creepy as shit. Did she put the box on her head?
Who's that big fat guy with the diaper?
He was the oversized son with his little mom or whatever, the midget mom.
That's all I remember.
So even the remake, in my opinion, I love the remake as well. The remake was good. Had some hot naked chick with tits, fake tits. But
she's all slashed up in a bathtub.
It was nice.
She's all slashed up in a bathtub.
But definitely the original William Castle 13 Ghosts, definitely right up there from the 60s.
definitely essential for classic horror. Definitely 13 Ghosts, and even like you said,
Atmosphere.
House by the Cemetery, or House on Haunted Hill.
House on Haunted Hill. House by the Cemetery. Full G. What?
He's coming at some point.
Yeah, I could.
Now, in '82, we have a very underrated film as well called Soul Survivor. Now, this movie really took a lot from one of my favorite movies of all time, Carnival of Souls. You see dead people walking around and stuff, all paranoid. It's all psychological in your head type stuff. Also very, very influential to the Final Destination series, which would soon to be later.
Yep.
Yeah, man, this is a great movie. Very underrated. No one ever talks about this movie. I heard about this movie from Chris Alexander of Rue Morgue. And it was unreleased for the longest fucking time. You only could find those, VHS, beat up to shit VHSs,
Let's get lucky.
But thank fuck for Code Red. They finally released it. And I think they re-released it as well because a lot of their titles went out of print. But this is a really good movie, well worth your while. Soul Survivor, check it out.
Oh, yeah.
That one kicks ass.
Right. Another, shit, what am I looking at here? The Changeling.
Ooh.
This is a haunted house ghost movie to be all haunted house ghost movies.
And then some.
This would have been, what, 80...
79.
79.
George C. Scott, one of the best performers.
Yep, and the kid in the this haunted wheelchair that keeps showing up. And then you had to find out, a lot of flashback scenes in this one, with the kid in the bathtub getting drowned.
Yeah. Did you die in this house, Joseph?
The house starting on fire at the end. I mean, it's just, this movie is just one of those with that wheelchair. It's very iconic. It's very iconic.
I have that poster on my wall.
Definitely one of those, very creepy, the sounds that he would hear in this house, and
the ball going down the stairs.
Yeah, it's just so many things I think in this that takes, and there's a lot of films now that take away from this movie.
Oh, definitely. A lot of the Ju-on movies and shit.
Yeah.
Definitely took a lot from The Changeling.
So if you want an award-winning film, The Changeling.
Yeah. No argument whatsoever.
They won the Oscars.
That is one of the best, one of the creepiest movies you'll ever see.
Very creepy movie.
That and Black Christmas for Canadian horrors. Shit. That's a Canadian horror film.
Mm-hmm. You can take that to the bank, buddy.
Barbara Steele. That's right, buddy. I have Barbara Steele here and Nightmare Castle. From 65, between Mask of Satan and Castle of Blood, Long Hair of Death. Oh, Christ, the list goes on. She was in such great movies.
In the 60s. Yeah.
She was so sought after in Italy.
For good
Rightfully
reason.
so. She's very nice to look at.
Yes.
Anyone that saw our last episode, Beautiful Women of Horror, know what I'm talking about.
Who knows?
We praised her. But Nightmare Castle is really good. It's right up there with any Bava film. It's not directed by Mario Bava, and for the longest time I always thought this was a Bava movie, but it's not. It's directed by Ellen Grunewald. Yeah, whatever. But he did a great job. Great score by Makorian. There's a lot of other movies. Barbara Steele is great though because you get two Barbaras for the price of one, which is how it's good.
Hey,
there's a demonic Barbara that kind of comes back from the dead and goes after her lover that tortured her, having an affair, which is never good. And then there's the good Barbara with blonde hair, which is the splitting image of this guy's tortured wife he killed, and just kind of comes back from the dead and just kind of messes his world up. It's a really, really good film. Really great atmosphere in this one as well. Good castle, crumbling castle, Gothic cathedrals, and
of course, like most.
Yeah, like
Barbara
Italian
Steele
productions,
very
definitely.
Gothic, yeah.
Right up there with any Bava film, definitely. Nightmare Castle, check it out. What you got? As I break it.
I have from 2011 Dark Sky Films, The Innkeepers. Basically, this guy and this girl are hotel, and they run this hotel, and they get this author. I think it's an author that shows up. She's either an author of paranormal stuff, or I can't remember offhand, but basically this hotel's shutting down for good, and they kind of got these last couple nights that they got to be in there, and this lady shows up, and they start realizing some of these weird things are happening from the basement, of all things. And they get drunk one night, and they decide to take this recorder thing, and they go down in the basement, and they try to capture this stuff. Well, they apparently let it out, and it kind of overtakes. Very, very just creepy movie. The soundtrack, there's not much of one. It's just kind of, it's more about the sounds and what you hear in this hotel, and
Great movie.
definitely worth it. Dark Sky, again, like IFC Midnight, very worth it. So
Directed by the same dude that did
Ty West.
Ty West, who did House of the Devil, another great movie.
Yep.
VHS 2 movie. We have a more modern one here. We Are Still Here.
Creepy ass movie. Great movie.
Yeah, this is a really fucking
Yes.
awesome movie. Barbara Crampton of Reanimator fame is in this one, and From Beyond. This is a really good one from Dark Sky Films. Anytime you see Dark Sky film labels, you know you're probably going to get a really good movie. Yeah, Innkeeper's Dark Sky too. That's
back
cool.
to back. There you go.
That's cool. I wasn't a plan. If you like House by the Cemetery by Lucio Fulci and The Shining, kind of mix those two together somewhat, you kind of get something kind of like We're Still Here. And the director of this film, Ted Giorgi, God, I'm horrible with last names. Anyway, yeah.
Sound it out. Come on. One letter
Fuck
at a
you, Google. This is not high school. But yeah, this is a great movie. A lot of good gore moments. Larry Fessenden is also in this movie. He's really
the ghosts themselves, when they're like the burning.
Yeah, they're
those
like
are creepy
turn
as
into
shit.
ash.
It's creepy as hell when you actually see them and they show up. It's creepy as shit.
Yeah, really good farmhouse in the middle of the woods, and really good winter setting.
They get stranded, basically.
Yeah, a really good winter setting. Yeah. I mean, it's shitty out now, so this is a good movie to watch.
Yeah,
excellent.
I love that one.
I do too. That slipcover killed me.
We are doing from 2004, The Devil's Backbone. It's kind of like, we talked about like the movie The Others.
I think that's 2001. I believe.
Is it 2001?
I think it is.
Oh, this release was 2004. I don't remember what year this was.
I think it's 2001. I believe. That's a good movie.
Of course, same kind of thing like Sixth Sense, The Others.
With a little wartime.
Yeah,
as well.
Kind of stuck in a shelter, orphanage type thing, and
there's a lot going on now.
Yeah, but there's the hidden riches kind of thing. Definitely an underrated film. I hear some of the more extreme horror fans talk about The Devil's Backbone, but not really. It doesn't get the mainstream appeal, which is fine.
Guillermo del Toro always delivers.
Yeah. So definitely check out The Devil's Backbone from probably 2001.
That's one of that and Kronos are my personal favorite Guillermo del Toro movies. Got a little modern one here too. This is a really good movie, criminally underrated, I believe, from 2006, called Fingerprints. This is a very creepy movie.
Yes,
you've seen this one, so you know what I'm talking about. It's
yeah.
very creepy with the kids. And of course, being on the railroad tracks where the accident happened, and the train coming at the car, and oh my god, man, I was freaking out. Good performance by Lou Diamond Phillips as well. Never thought I'd say that.
Hey, he had some pretty good movies.
Yeah, he did. He had
Tales
Bats.
from the Crypt.
Bats was cool. Yeah, Bats was cool. The First Power was good. Yeah, this is a really good one. Really criminally underrated. I actually heard about this movie through Killjoy, Necrophagia. Anything he recommends, we pretty much dig up, but this is a really good recommendation.
The girl on the cover always reminded me of ex-girlfriend. No joke.
Yeah, this is a really good movie. Check it out, Fingerprints.
Alright, we're going back to the 40s. This will be 41. Spooks Run Wild. This is a fun film with Bela Lugosi featuring the East Side Kids. Basically, there's this kind of farmhouse that the East Side Kids, which was actually apparently a big thing back in the day, kind of like
they were kind of like Elvis and Costello.
Yeah, kind of like you know, it
comedic timing.
It was like
too.
Abbott and Costello with like the comedic thing, but kind of the kids aspect, like the Cosby Kids. Hey, you know.
You see Theo.
And Spooks Run Wild it's a lot of fun, a lot of laughs in it. I guess if you kind of like the comedy aspect of it, it's not so bad, but it's kind of cool to see Bela Lugosi kind of out of his Dracula persona.
Yeah, you get so typecast.
Yeah, so it was kind of nice to see him out of it. He does kind of play a count, but he does play a count in this one, but not the Dracula, I think. But definitely Spooks Run Wild from 1941. Definitely kind of a throwback, kind of a great comedy horror.
I have a classic oldie too here from 1944, The Uninvited. Excellent release from Criterion.
You want to talk atmosphere?
Yeah, this one. This is a very creepy movie.
Oh, yeah.
Still to this day, it
for
holds
that, for
up.
that time period, man.
Definitely, it still holds up. Like, just the voices at night when they're trying to sleep and they know something's in that goddamn house. They can't see it,
but you know it's there.
They know it's there. It's all in your head, you know, psychological stuff. And then when they actually do see the apparition, man, that's creepy. Really good story as well. Kind of a love story thrown in for good measure as well.
Mm-hmm.
But Ray Milland is a really good actor. Really good movie.
That's a classic.
Very classic.
Criterion, I think, puts that one out now. You could probably get a good copy of that one.
That's the one. That's
the Criterion VHS, I know.
It's on Blu-ray too, of course. Yeah.
All right. We're gonna laugh and you'll understand why, but Nomads with Pierce Brosnan. Remington Steele. Or my GPS when we try to get to a Crowbar show and Pierce steers us in the wrong way. Turn left. Sorry.
Recalculation.
This movie, I picked this movie because it's a ghost story in a sense where nomads, which are mythical creatures, but nomads are these people. Hey,
sorry.
What are you doing?
I thought I had my fucking phone off.
But nomads in this respect are basically kind of these hoodlum kids that kill and terrorize, but they're not real. Like, they're real in a sense that you can see them, but they're not real. It's a weird ghost story.
What year is that?
This is 86, 87, 86.
It's the one on me. I'll have to check them out. It's probably not on DVD.
But basically, he has to try to figure out how to defeat these nomads. And very underrated movie. Nobody talks about this movie at all. And honestly, I'm not even 100% sure if it's even got a DVD release. From what I remember, last time it didn't. So VHS, I think, is the only way, but don't quote me on that because I have not checked up on that recently. But definitely check out Pierce Brosnan and Nomads.
I like Tim and Dante's Peak off the record.
Volcanoes.
Oh man, Armando de Osorno, fucking one of my favorite, The Ghost Galleon. This movie is so fucking cheesy.
The Blind Dead Collection.
That ghost ship where it gets on fire and the flames are higher than this sails.
Yeah.
You can totally tell it's like this little. But man, it is so much fun, and this movie has so much atmosphere when they get on that fucking galleon, and the Blind Dead, of course, return and wreak havoc, and this movie is like two movies in one. It's like a sleazy movie with those two chicks in the sailboat for the promotion, you know? And then they get lost and they end up in this ghost galleon, and then these rescuers, I guess you could call them, take a boat to try to find them, and then they end up on the ghost galleon and everyone dies. Yeah.
Funny thing is how you can't get away from something that's blind.
Yeah, and a ghost galleon. Yes, this is great.
Those this comes from the Blind Dead collection, of course. Absolutely. Night of the Seagulls, Tombs of the Blind Dead.
Return of the Blind Dead. Those are all.
So I think it's kind of one of those series where you just gotta watch them all because they're all.
Which is cool because none of them like ever followed the one before.
No, they're all different films.
This one definitely stands out. I think it's so utterly cheesy with that shit, but it is so much fun. I love this movie so much.
I just love when they're in the galleon down the bottom, and all of a sudden you just see these like really cheesy hands start coming out like.
Oh yeah, it's kind of creepy. And then when you hear the coffin, though,
it's like the over the top like bone cracking like.
Yeah.
It's so
This is a
great.
lot of fun.
It's so great.
Check this out, guys. The Ghost Galleon. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go around. Spanish.
All right, this is a newer one as well, 2015, Sensoria. Very creepy ass movie. Basically, it follows this woman, and she goes to this old apartment, realizes that she's not alone. It's from Scandinavia. Definitely huge award winner. Made it to a lot of festivals, won a lot of things because for good reason. Very creepy movie for being newer. Very creepy for being, you know, a lot of times you see these movies with all these awards on them, and you watch them and it's like, it's all newbies watching this shit. But Sensoria, I think, was really genuinely a really creepy movie. Really well done.
I'll have to check it out.
So definitely check out Sensoria.
Is that a pretty new one?
2015. Yeah, MVD Visual put that one out. They put out a bunch of other shit, but we haven't talked about them, so not gonna get into it.
I have a classic from, I don't know, I think it's 2000. I never put the fucking years in these. 2000, I believe. The original Ju-On.
Oh, the original, yes.
Yeah, not The Grudge, which I guess was alright. Sarah Michelle Gellar was very hot, I'll give her that. No, it's like...
That's an inhale. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, anyway, you get the picture.
It's like Ringu. It's like you watch
Yeah.
the original Japanese versions of these.
Yeah.
Better.
So, yeah, this movie... yeah, this movie's very creepy. When Sadako... No, not Sadako, that's Ringu. I don't know the woman's name in this one. I get Ringu and these mixed up, but anyway, yeah. This basically the same premise. Uh-oh. But I always get the hiccups when I drink, sorry. But this is really good. The little boy is creepy, just like comes out of nowhere all the time.
All the time.
Yoshioto.
Yeah, he's Yoshioto.
Yeah,
something like that.
But it's a really, really creepy movie. Definitely the whole concept of the girl with long black hair, the ghosts, and you see that it's like cliche now in Hollywood. It's like every big production rips something off from Ringu or
the Ringu
or Ju-On
whichever.
movies.
Or it's either the Japanese release or the American release. They rip off something.
This is a classic modern. Check it out, Ju-On.
All right, I'm going to The Fog. Jamie Lee Curtis. Man, it's what you can't see that'll kill you.
There's
It's
something
great-
in the fog.
This girl basically has a radio show up in the lighthouse, and they always talk about when the fog comes in.
KBA, KBK.
Like keep your doors closed, and you just see like this, every time the fog comes in, this bright light shows up, and you just see it entrancing the door, and the fog comes out, and you just see these 2 feet there. Just the creepiest damn thing, man.
Tom Atkins without a mustache.
Adrienne Barbeau is
Yeah.
also in this one from Creepshow.
Absolutely.
And
Tom Atkins
Janet
without
Leigh
a
from
mustache.
Psycho. Also, I mean, a lot of people in this movie. This is
John
definitely-
Carpenter makes an appearance in the church.
Yes, he does.
A very young John.
Yep. But man, he also did the music for this one. John Carpenter, as we all know, that he's a very great musician as well as director.
Absolutely.
So definitely check out if you have not. It's again, if you have not seen The Fog, what the hell's wrong with you?
And if you're basing that on the fucking remake, go fuck yourself, because the remake is a wet bag of steaming fucking
it
pile
is.
of shit that I won't piss on if it was on fucking fire.
Yes, it is.
The only cool thing about the remake is the way the ghosts look, because they had a better budget, obviously, than John
But
had.
still, these were creepy.
But
shit,
this
though.
this is a classic. The remake is a wet bag of shit.
Watch this when thunderstorm hits.
Yes.
You'll shit
Or
yourself.
better yet, when there's fog.
Yeah.
Like, if you live near a lake or an ocean or whatever.
You'll shit yourself, guaranteed.
Yeah, that's how it's
Definitely check out The Fog if you like Jamie Lee Curtis, Adrienne Barbeau, all them.
Absolutely.
Can't go wrong. And John Carpenter, of course. Halloween, like it, go.
From 1958, we have a real black and white classic here. The Screaming...
Edgar's favorite movie.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he gave me a lecture on this one. Mickey! Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, The Screaming Skull is a great movie. This is really a creepy fucking movie. It really
It's
is.
so cheesy, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, I mean, it's cheesy as hell, but really, it's scary. It really is. Like the part where, the skull appears really.
Floats almost.
Yeah, it does actually kind of. It just kind of
There.
bounces
It's
around.
there,
It's
yeah,
there,
it's there.
and the reactions that the actress has, and Mickey the gardener, and I forget the actor's name, but whatever. But this is really good. The ghost of the ghost itself is very creepy. She drowned and died in a pond by this house, and there's this caretaker named Mickey that tries to, and he was obsessed with her. He absolutely loved her, and he did anything for her. And he tries to preserve everything of hers, never lets the past die. And basically she comes back from the dead after, well, that'd be giving it away, wouldn't it? Check out the Screaming Skull.
Don't get too involved in it.
Nice job, Skid Goer.
Alright. Fear of the Dark.
Fear of the dark! Fear of the dark! Sorry, an Iron Maiden.
Radio?
Yeah.
This was from 2002. It's one of those kind of movies that it's got practical creatures in it, practical effects, which is always nice. Basically, this kid Ryan, he just sees all these different monsters showing up, and it kind of they're not really real. They're kind of more in his head, so it's a psychological horror. But it's kind of along the lines of The Ring, The Sixth Sense again. So obviously you can tell movies like this are all taking parts from each other. I mean, that's I always love the creatures in this movie. It kind of reminds me of a movie, The Demon's Rook, from 2015, 2016.
Good movie.
Where some of the creatures, they really do resemble a lot of that. But it's more based on the fear of this kid and what he sees. And it's kind of like you fear for him almost in a sense. Like they're ghosts, but they're not. Like he's imagining they're real.
What year did it come out?
2002.
Alright. I'll have to check that one out. I've heard about that one.
Yeah, Jesse James from The Butterfly Effect is also in this one.
Nice.
The original, The Best Butterfly Effect, not that cheesy second age shit they came up with.
Well, folks, we're down to the creme de la creme right now. We have our top 5. This list was in no order whatsoever, but the last 5
Will be.
Will be. And it was extremely hard to leave a lot of movies out, personally.
No, it wasn't.
Just like our slasher episode we did on
That was
Halloween.
worse.
That was a hard one as well. Which is funny, we had Maniac at the same number. It's great. But yeah, we're going to come back after we kill something and give you our last creme de la creme of 5 ghosts. Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Start grabbing them. What? We're killing a bag of chips.
That was without a doubt the greatest kill ever. We killed a bag of chips.
It's delicious, man.
How can you go along with barbecue chips and beer? You know, life is good. And actually, life sucks, but when you have that, it's cool. And horror.
Yeah, and Dark Throne.
And Dark Throne. We are down to the creme de la creme.
Top 5.
Top 5, and how we're going to do this is 5 to 1, so don't get confused here.
5th being the worst, not the worst, but
not the worst.
The worst of the best.
Yeah, worst of the best.
Number 1 being the number 1 film that...
Worst of the best sounds like a best of type
of
negative or something.
Yeah.
Alright.
Like, what's your favorite Slayer song? Good luck.
That's hard to do. I have Mario Bava's 1966 classic Kill Baby Kill. Now this movie, you want to talk atmosphere, this movie has so much goddamn atmosphere. The movie definition is atmosphere is Kill Baby Kill. Like, that little girl in the fog and with the ball going down the stairs and the demonic evil witch that conjures her up to do her evil bidding because she was killed wrongfully by a mob group.
Yep.
This movie is so great. I absolutely love it. I'm so glad that Kino gave it the release that it deserves. Because kind of like Kathy's Curse, we talked about before, It was only on those Mill Creek, $50 fucking.
Yep.
Which is cool because if you have a low budget, someone can get like really good
$10 for 50
you
movies.
can get some pretty nifty movies in there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But good enough movies like Kathy's Curse and Kill Baby Kill, you definitely need a solid release of, and this one definitely gives the film justice. Great commentary track by Tim Lucas, who is probably the world-renowned fucking expert on Mario Bava. Excellent movie. I love this movie so much. The bald, what the hell is his name? Carl in the film.
Carl!
He's yeah, Erica Blank. She doesn't get naked in this movie like she did in another movie we loved called Devil's Nightmare. But she is in this, and she wears a nightgown where you can see through, which is always good, right? Anyway, this is a really great movie. One of my definite favorites. Kill Baby Kill.
Oh, yeah. Well, I knew this was coming. The Uninvited, 1944.
Oh, boy.
Came back up. But this
surprises me. That's cool. You have the same version, too.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite movies. I love this movie.
Right on.
This movie, man, I know we spoke about it before. Of course, this is another double, but this movie really, man, is just... I love old films like this. The 30s, 40s. That was the golden age of cinema, and this kind of movie was so underrated for so long. I mean, it just, to me, it's something I can put, sit in the dark and just watch this and genuinely still be creeped out in an older film.
That movie really delivers.
Man,
that little beach scene.
It's
the house by the beach.
Yeah.
Like, oh god.
So
and the guy, what is he, a piano player? Ray Milland's character is like a pianist, I think.
Yep.
He's trying to write music, and that ghost is disturbing him, and that is some creepy shit. Like we talked about before, where you see the apparition in the hallway when they hear the noises. It sounds like a crying woman or whatever.
Yeah.
That movie is also, I don't know if what came first, Whistle or I'll Come For You, came before that or not, but that is a BBC film. And that is really creepy as well, and it reminds me so much of The Uninvited. I think it took a lot from The Uninvited, because it's basically the same premise, where did the dead start coming back? Yeah. Not zombies, but ghosts. It's really great.
Yeah, it's the same thing, right?
Speaking of another great movie, from 1962, my what is this? Number four, Carnival of Souls by Herc Harvey. Now, great this movie, here's another atmosphere movie.
Yeah.
The scene on the carousel, the scene in the car when she first sees the ghoul.
When she sees me, hey, look at that.
I would scream too. Anyway, yeah, she sees him, and she's freaking out in the car, and he follows her everywhere. He follows her in the apartment. She's all paranoid. She's locking her doors, and she doesn't want to turn out the lights because she's going to see him,
Yeah.
And it's just, it's really great. I love this movie.
It's great to get into her mind and just, you see what she's kind of freaking out about.
It really is a great movie. Excellent portrayal of psychological. The fact that she and her buddies were drag racing on a fucking bridge. That ever's going to end good, right? And they all fucking perish and fall in the fucking river or lake or whatever, and they fish her out. Actually, no. Never mind. They don't fish her out. She comes out, but really she is dead. She doesn't know it, and she's trying to reconcile with society, and she can't, and she's trying to get close to men, and she keeps pulling away, and it's just, there's so much going on in this movie. She's a organist at a church. And she gets booted out for playing the devil's music. That music is blasphemy!
Yeah.
This is a great movie, guys. I'm sure everyone under the sun has probably seen Carnival
It's on
Souls.
50 packs.
Oh, yeah. Public domain, so
Yeah,
it's like Night of the Living Dead. You can get it anywhere. YouTube, fucking whatever. But Herc Harvey's Carnival Souls is great. Alright!
Number 4 is the original William Castle 1959 House on Haunted Hill. Vincent Price. The original, I mean, I brought up the remake, but the original for me, so gosh,
first
damn
round
creepy, man. Just the effects in this alone. I mean, he's trying to scare these people basically to get them to leave, but it's like, is it real? Is it not? I mean, it's just, there's so many twists and turns to this movie, and
It's kind of
Vincent Price's character is so diabolical. And
his wife and him start trying to off each other, and there's that
Yep.
that guy that's the pilot that trying to go get in the pants of that other woman. And there's a lot going on.
And when you had Vincent Price with his iconic voice and his demeanor on film, it's such a classic film. One of my absolute favorites. And it's kind of funny when he offers him $10,000. By today's, it's a lot of money, but
you're like, really?
That's it.
That's it?
But
for that,
in '58, shit.
Oh yeah,
I'd do it. But
times have changed.
Obviously, the skeleton. I cannot think of its name.
Emergio.
Which
is really cool, is because William Castle, fucking when that movie was in the theater. William Castle, by the way, if you all don't know, was the master of gimmicks.
Yep.
Like, he did
Gimmick
13
horror.
Ghosts. To Tingler with the seat buzzers and shit.
Yep.
But Emergio was pretty much, I think, his greatest achievement theatrically, because
right.
people would shoot popcorn at the Emergio coming off the skeleton, like when it comes out of the vat of acid at the end.
Oh yeah.
Follow me, murderess.
Like this was just one of those. You can't say too much about it. It's just so great.
Atmosphere.
The haunted house aspect of it, just so brilliant.
It's really amazing how they made that movie too. Like if you do your research and hear how what they went through to make that.
But it's kind of like when
the house location.
But it's kind of like when you watch like the behind the scenes of like Evil Dead and stuff, like to see how they did some of this stuff.
Oh yeah.
On
such a low budget too.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing. It really shows, I think, that you don't need computer graphics to make a great movie.
No, you don't. Fuck CGI. Fuck CGI. You want to watch a good movie? You watch Uninvited. You watch, House by the Cemetery, or whatever. Even that one.
The House by Anything.
House by Anything. If it has house in the title, it's probably good.
Kind of, yeah.
All right. Well, we have another double here.
Ah, yes.
1979. We talked about this before, but this is the fog. There's something in the fog. Now, one thing I'll touch up that we didn't before was the old woman babysitting Adrian Barbeau's kid at the seaside, cabin or river.
Yep.
And the fog comes.
Yeah.
Tom Atkins trying to get it on with Jamie Lee Curtis, who is a hitchhiker.
Yep.
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre style.
Hot one too.
She's just nice. That call at the door when he's trying to get it on with the sickle. At the door, like boom, boom. That's creepy, man. And the fog and that atmosphere.
When he actually gets through, and you see it's just his arm reach around.
Yeah. And the part on the boat where all the fishermen get killed, and then Tom Atkins' character and Jamie Lee Curtis go out there to try to find their friends, and they find that the boat looks like it's been turned up in water, full of salt water, and then they find the bodies and oh man, this is a great movie. So many great atmosphere moments. Deborah Hill and John Carpenter really created a great one. Straight off the heels of Halloween. Halloween was 78. Thank you, Google. And this came out in 79, so it's right off the heels of the success of Halloween. Not as good as Halloween, not as talked about as Halloween, but I fucking love this movie. And I really think more people... I mean, if you haven't seen The Fog, come on, man.
You haven't seen The Fog? What the fuck?
Yeah, you should really see The Fog. Avoid the remake.
Yes. All right.
Fuck that remake.
My number 3 is Audrey Rose.
Free? Audrey Rose. Yeah.
Creepy ass movie.
Anthony Hopkins with hair.
Anthony Hopkins, yeah.
With hair.
John Beck from Nightmare Honeymoon. It's kind of one of those movies where this little girl's kind of possessed in a sense.
She's somebody else.
Yeah, and it's one of those movies that just kind of grabs you because anytime I guess kids are involved in movies like this, you have more of a set of you're attached to it a little bit more because it's you feel bad for him, man. I mean, it's like The Exorcist, you feel bad for Reagan.
Or Cole in The Sixth Sense. I mean,
you feel bad for these kids, and
you feel bad seeing dead people.
But definitely this is from '77. Definitely check out Audrey Rose.
That's a great movie.
Nobody talks about this movie. It was it was an award winner from
Google's right.
Many awards in this one. Anthony Hopkins, of course, we know from Silence of the Lambs.
Another one I'll say is Magic. That has nothing to do with supernatural, but that's another one that's criminally underrated, just like Audrey Rose.
Oh yeah.
Excellent
Definitely
movie.
check that out. It's very
The scene where they're trying to get the ghost out of her or whatever at the end at the hospital is so torturous because I'm not going to give it away, but I mean it's hard to watch because this sweet innocent girl with apple cheeks and she's cute, man. She's a cute little girl and she's going through all this shit. She didn't ask for it.
Yeah.
It's a great movie about reincarnation. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Great movie. Old Ghoul. Number 2 from 79. You know it coming. The Changeling. Oh my god. This movie. What more can you say? I mean, George C. Scott's performance as that pianist that loses his family. And that is such a sad scene.
Yeah.
Like, when his daughter and his wife fucking get killed while he's talking on the phone or whatever. It's really sad, man. And in the next scene you see he's like all fucking traumatized as you would be when you lose a loved one like that, and
especially in that manner.
Very depressed, and then he finds out that he's not alone in this fucking house, and this fucking house is fucking
nice house, though.
Scary as fucking shit. Like there's, it's got a huge dark past with the little boy being drowned in the bathtub by his
wheelchair.
His father.
Well, he's a wheelchair kid.
Yeah, that turns out to be Melvin Douglas's. Well, I would be giving that away. No thanks. But great movie. The seance scene. Did you die in this house, Joseph? That is such a great scene. So many great scenes. The kid coming up from the fucking floor. Oh, that is so creepy to this day, man. When you watch that.
The movie stands the test of time for sure.
It does. It really does. The Changeling, Canadian Haw, it is best.
Alright, my number 2, and obviously The Sixth Sense. Yes, I know. It was bound to happen because why is this my number 2? And this is a modern film. The main reason is this movie has everything. There's so many scenes that like I can remember that me growing up watching this movie. I was still old. I was probably like 13, 14 when this came out. But this movie just had so many iconic scenes to it. The story, the twist. Alright, that's it. You cut off.
I'm sorry.
You cut the fuck off.
Sorry.
And, but, this is one of those movies that Hitchcock could have came up with. If he was still around today. Definitely it's just one of my favorite all-time films, man. I just love this story.
When you watch, that's a really nice addition. Holy shit.
Vista
wow,
series.
that's a big fucking... Mine is like... that didn't sound good, but
I got the fancy Vista edition,
It looks like a 7 edition or something.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff in this one.
And we talked about The Sixth Sense before, man, but if you've never seen that movie and you watch it for the first time, you will never see that ending coming. It hits you like a fucking freight train, man. It's just...
Yeah. Alright, guys. Number 1. Here it comes.
Woo! Here we go.
3. 1.
Number 1 here.
Number 1. Our all-time favorite.
Ghost movie.
Paranormal.
Ghost. Whatever you want to talk about.
Here it is. This is
magic. Creme de la creme right here.
The magic.
And this is so obvious. I'm sure if my friend Haley's watching, you probably know what mine is going to be. That is 1980's The Shining. God, this is not only my favorite ghost movie, it's probably one of my favorite movies of all time, next to Jaws, of course.
Orpa, you idiot!
1 case of apricot brandy. This movie is... Shut up. We are fucking not doing that.
Sorry.
We will never stop.
Wait till the Jaws episode.
It's coming. Probably summer when it's fucking warm out. I'm not gonna scrape a fin to my fucking back or something. Chase a ghoul around the pool or something. That's just an idea. No, man, The Shining. Dude, Stanley Kubrick. I'll never understand for the life of me why Stephen King...
hates that movie.
Yeah! I'll never understand it.
I don't know.
I will never understand it.
I don't know.
If you read the book, which we both have, it's definitely different. I mean, even the remake of The Shining with the asshole from Wings and that annoying kid I can't stand that can barely talk. That was more, for the book, But I think Stanley Kubrick made a great movie. Stands the test of time.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
Everybody knows The Shining. Why am I even talking about this? Yeah, why am I even talking about this? Any Slipknot fans ever seen the Spit It Out video when Slipknot was cool? Like
when Joey rides down in the train.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many great iconic moments. It's no different than like Halloween or Texas Chainsaw or It's a staple. Yeah. It's a staple of American culture. It's Americana. Yeah. It really is.
Jack Nicholson was, his film before that was like he did The Tear with Boris Karloff and whatever. But
yes, the birds kept shitting on his head.
But when he did in a role like this, it was like, damn.
He was also in Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, Little Shop of Horrors, like a whole nother level for him in this kind of movie.
Oh yeah. Of course, he's known for One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and non-horror movies. Yeah, the only horror movies he's ever done was this and The Wolf.
The Wolf.
And of course the Roger Corman movies earlier. He had to start somewhere, right? But really, this is such a classic movie. Scatman, not that Scatman, I don't know what you're talking. Okay, we're done. ADD moments.
We're done.
ADD moment. Anyway, the black eye Scatman, the fucking guy that has The Shining as well, and he can see Danny and knows something's up, and he goes back to that hotel, and it's just a great atmosphere with the snow. It's the greatest movie, like isolation type movie. Like there's a huge snowstorm outside. You're not getting out.
Yeah.
There's ghosts in the house. You're fucked. Your wife is ugly as shit. Sorry, Shelley. But I mean,
she went nuts.
Yes, she did. But she's awesome. She's awesome. But this is such a great movie, guys. You've never seen The Shining. For the love of God.
Shame on you.
For the love of God, check the movie out.
Shame on you.
Shining, number 1 for Skid Gore.
Now my number 1
what's your number 1?
Is a movie I remember watching as a kid, and I absolutely love this movie. Not something you're gonna think. It's not Poltergeist, which actually got left off this countdown.
That almost made the list as well for me.
But not even top 5. We didn't really talk about Poltergeist, but that's here nor there.
That one almost made it.
I am going 1970. What the fuck was this? 76. The Sentinel.
Oh yeah, dude.
This movie to me. No, this is obviously opinion based.
Pat on the back goal.
This fucking movie, man, is just. It's so. It means so much to me. As like I said, I used to watch this by my grandma's house. It used to be on like Fox. I remember played around Halloween time once.
Oh my god.
And that was the priest creeped me the fuck out. Just sitting on top. Christopher Walken's also in this movie.
So is Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum's in this.
A very young Jeff Goldblum.
But basically the whole, the whole premise of this movie is there's a house or an apartment building where this girl ends up getting this great room, and she meets all these cool characters. This old lady, this old man. All this stuff. What's her nuts? From.
Clark Griswold's wife does a good masturbation scene in that movie.
Yeah. What the hell's her name?
I forget her name offhand, but I know it's Clark Griswold's wife.
You get to see her tits, which is great.
Yeah.
But basically she meets all these people and they invite her over to this dinner, and then she starts talking about
Burgess Meredith, that's it.
And then
that's the old guy, Burgess Meredith.
And then she starts meeting she starts talking about all these people she's meeting, and then they realize, and then she starts these people don't really exist. They're just ghosts that are still living here. Well, then the house kind of turns into the priest that sits up in this window.
John Carradine.
He's watching over the gates of hell, basically.
Oh yeah.
Making sure bad spirits do not enter nor leave. And then there's a scene with a bunch of midgets, small people, deformed people, and they all kind of like. And it's the creepiest part to me was when she's up in the attic. And all the people follow her up the stairs or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then they're gonna like attack her and kill her. And then like the priest does this whole like thing.
Yeah.
And then she ends up being the new gatekeeper.
Oh yeah.
More or less.
Yeah.
And it's one of those movies to me, man. I love this movie. It's
the scene that gets me from The Sentinel every time is when she sees the ghost of her father.
Oh hell.
And she stabs him with that knife, and he comes out of the darkness. He's got those eyes like.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so fucking creepy. The Sentinel and The Shining. The Sentinel and The Shining are number 1s for sure. Rightfully so. They're great films. They'll stand the test of time. When we're dead and buried with maggots crawling out of our ass, these will still be seen by our children. These are the films that stand the test of time. Hope you guys enjoyed that.
Alright guys, we are going to move on real quick here to a Amicus. If anybody ever remembers Amicus from the 60s and 70s,
sort of.
Hammer films, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, all them guys.
Absolutely.
We'll come back, guys. We're gonna go
We're actually gonna kill something, not a bag of chips this time.
The bag of chips is dead. So let's go
Yes.
kill something, guys.
Cheers.
Hold on. Cheers, guys.
What's going on, horror fans? We're back. This is going to be an Amicus Tribute. Now, Amicus is a British horror studio, kind of like Hammer Films as well. They kind
Basically,
of,
they were kind of
it's kind of hard to
together.
differentiate between Hammer and Amicus. A lot of people get that wrong, but Amicus was a studio that ran from 1962 to 1977.
Short-lived-ish.
Yeah,
But
and they specialized more in horror anthologies.
Yep.
Milton Sabatsky and Maxwell J. Rosenberg are the creators of Amicus. And I think they made a lot of great movies that really stand the test of time. Like I said, more horror anthology, which is really, really fun movies to watch because if one story sucks, you know the other one's going to be cool.
And, or they intertwine, like they. They all work together. It's just we're great at doing stuff like that.
Absolutely.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna go through most of the films. There were some sci-fi ones and stuff, which
some thrillers
we'll talk
too.
about. So they did a lot of different
Hitchcockian thrillers.
So we're gonna deal more of the horror line.
Absolutely.
That we did. So
we're gonna try to do this the best we can by year because we are no experts, but we'll try it.
1965, Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. Don't screw that up.
That's the one that started.
Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, and if we don't mention, you're going to hear those names a lot because the pairing, the evil pairing.
That's why a lot of people think Hammer and Amicus are the same thing. I did. I mean, when I saw those names, Vincent Price and all those guys, it's like, well, shit. Isn't that the same thing?
So Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, obviously the dynamic duo of the 50s and 60s and early
the
70s.
horror tag team.
We're in a lot of Amicus released films. Dr. Terror and the House of Horrors basically revolves around Peter Cushing, who's a tarot card reader in a sense, gets aboard a train with these people and he starts reading their fortunes and how they're going to die, all this stuff. And Christopher Lee plays a man who kind of gets a non-believer. And he tries to play off.
What is this rubbish you're trying to sell on me?
And it's an unpredictable type film. It's just you don't really know what's going on around every corner. There's always something different. That's the way they kind of made these movies, and it's a thriller. It's a mystery.
So much fun too.
It's a mystery type film. It always reminds me of Horror Express.
Yes, and it's even on a train.
It's on a train.
And Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee
are in it. Yes,
it's great. That's the one that started it all, man.
Yep. So Doctor and the Devils, Dracula's Risen from the Grave. Obviously, Freddie Francis did this film.
Absolutely.
So obviously well known in the Hammer realm. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a great movie. It's a great horror anthology. It's pretty much the one that kickstarted the whole Amicus horror anthology series, really.
From 65, sorry.
With Tales from the Crypt, Volta Horror, Asylum. We'll get to those, absolutely, but that's the one that kickstarted it.
Oh, yeah.
And it definitely deserves to be seen.
Alright, next one we're going to do is from also 65, is Peter Cushing, another Freddie Francis film, The Skull.
Oh, yeah. That's an awesome cover.
It's just, it's one of those movies that just epitomized, I guess, Peter Cushing as just being just the actor he was. It was just
and the tag team duo with him and Lee, I mean,
of course.
There was just no denying that.
And you couldn't.
Christopher Lee plays a good guy for once.
It's not an asshole.
No, man, it's great. Based on the Marcus de Sade, the Peter Cushing's character gets in his position. Well, first of all, he's a collector of all these occult items and shit,
and a skull that.
And he has this dude that fucking gives them all, sells them all this paraphernalia.
Yeah.
And he ends up with Marcus de Sade's actual skull.
Yep.
And if you know who Marcus de Sade is, he wasn't a very nice guy.
Yeah. So it kind of follows him around and
literally follows him around, floats around.
Yeah, and
it's cheesy.
It drives him crazy in a sense. He goes mad because he doesn't believe all this is going on, and it eats away at him. It's like a possession type film in a sense.
Yeah, pretty much. Very cheesy when the skull's coming after him because you can see the strings and shit. But it's
also in the 60s.
It's low budget, man. What do you expect?
But definitely the Skull, Amicus as well.
That was a good one.
All right, moving on to The Deadly Bees from '66.
Oh yeah.
A movie about deadly bees. That's
pretty much.
It's a scary damn thing, man. You get attacked by a swarm of bees.
I hate bees.
This was just a campy film, man. It was great though. This beekeeper, he basically keeps this lethal swarm of bees ready to attack, more or less, and
Do his evil bidding.
yeah, it's one of those.
I mean, if you can train animals to do your evil bidding, and you don't have to lift a finger, hey, why not?
Deadly animals. So Deadly Bees from '66.
I'm sorry, I gotta say about the Deadly Bees, it's so cheesy. I mean, that was what was it, like fucking 66. Okay, yeah. So like there wasn't a lot of technology, but you can totally tell these bees are so fucking cheesy in some of these scenes. But a lot of the scenes too, they reuse real bees.
Yep, and they had to. I mean, it's like the movie like Ants. You know, they back in the day they didn't have the computers and shit to do this.
So it's CG.
So it's like, yes, some things were hokey and whatever. They reused clips from other things, but they used real animals or
and it brought it into your world.
Oh yeah, it was more terrifying that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
It made people afraid.
Who wants to see CGI bees?
No, it made people afraid of rats. I mean, from '82.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, it made people afraid of this stuff.
Absolutely.
Next up, Dr. Diablo in Torture Garden from 67. Sorry.
Jack Palance, I love him.
He basically has a sideshow, and he shows all these people how they're gonna die. It's a fortune teller type movie, and Dr. Diablo is just so great with that mustache and the little goatee, like
played by the one, the only Burgess Meredith.
Burgess Meredith. Peter Cushing's also in this one as well. This one is not have Christopher Lee in it, but that's quite alright because I always thought it was kind of a cool movie.
Jack Palance's character, who's obsessed with Poe, that's the one I always remembered. The chick with the scissors, that was cool.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that was. Really
of course,
cool.
Dr. Diablo is also known as the devil in this movie. So yeah.
He looks really cool too. He's got those weird eyebrows.
I love it. Yeah,
like
he's just got the whole. Yeah,
he's got that goatee. Looks like the Undertaker from '99.
Definitely, that was a great one.
That's fun.
The House That Dripped Blood.
Oh my God!
The anthology, I think, of all anthologies.
And the most misleading title in horror history because there's not a drop of blood in it, but it's a great movie.
Yep. Candles. There were 6 candles in here. Wow.
Are they?
Educational toys.
Educational toys must not this.
Yeah. This is a highly quoted movie by me and Sigor.
Jane?
Basically, there's 3 channels.
Like a nice playroom.
Stop interrupting.
Sorry, I love
There's Voodoo's Vampire and Hot Vixen Women.
A vampire cloak?
Yeah, the cloak. Basically, there's a story of the cloak, that turns him into a vampire.
Oh, yeah.
The Voodoo, obviously, there's the Psycho, Jane. And then the Vixens, which, of course, Ingrid Pitt.
Oh, yeah. Also, don't forget the story of that serial killer writer.
Yep. Yeah, where he starts writing stuff and he sees the guy outside his window.
That's a great movie, guys. That's just a
great
fantastic movie.
Fantastic.
Yes.
From 70.
I loved it. That movie is so great. When Ingrid Pitt puts on that cloak and she turns into that
and she flies up there, he's just like, he just freaks out.
Yeah.
Next up, a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde tale. I Monster, of course, uses none of the names, which is probably how they got away from copyright. Christopher Lee basically just plays...
Dr. Marlowe.
Mr. Barlow.
No, not Dr. Marlowe.
Marlowe.
Yeah.
Peter Cushing plays him as a lawyer. Lawyer!
Who turns into Professor Blake.
Yep. Again, if you've watched any of the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde stories, John Carradine's version, any of that stuff, obviously, I Monster from 71? 71?
I believe so, yeah.
We're
not experts, but yeah. I Zombie. I Monster is a really
iPod!
really good movie. Yeah, like you said, with Frederick Marsh in Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde from the 30s, and Spencer Tracy in the 40s. Christopher Lee just kind of knocks it out of the park in that one. But it's kind of funny. There's kind of a little story that's funny, though. I mean, every single character in that movie, from the book and from past movies has the correct name, except Christopher Lee's character. He didn't come Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. He was Dr. Marlowe, who became Professor Blake.
Yeah. But, you know,
there's a documentary where he explains that. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But he's like, that's completely, utterly ridiculous. I was in Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah. Now we're moving on to 1972's Asylum. Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee.
No, he's not in that one.
No, Peter Cushing's in this one, sorry.
Yeah, he's in that one.
Basically, it's an anthology.
Herbert Lama's in that one.
It's an anthology that comes along where a guy's looking for a job in he has to go to this psychiatric ward, and he has to basically find this doctor, and if he does, he gets the job.
Dr. Stop.
Come to find out that this entire asylum is actually run by the crazies.
Damn right.
It's kind of a cool little mind twist. You know, this Dr. Starr is actually an inmate who killed the original doctor and is playing
Dr. Starr.
So, really cool movie. I always loved this cover. It was just really...
I'd love to get an original one sheet of that. That'd be so cool.
Oh, yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, but that's just a great movie. Herbert Lom, from, Mark of the Devil fan, played an asshole Mark of the Devil. He's a really good this guy thinks that's Dr. Starr, but it turns out it's just another crazy inmate at this asylum. He is. Yeah. And like Will said, the inmates run the asylum in that one. That has a lot of really good horror anthology. Peter Cushing plays a role as this guy who wants a tailor-made suit for his son, a specially made tailor suit.
Yep.
And it comes to life, and it just it's hokey as fucking hell, but it's really fun and horror anthology for
This is another great House of Drip Blood and Asylum are great anthologies.
Absolutely.
So yeah, what do you got?
Well,
move down the list.
This is probably the most poop. This is probably the most
poop.
This is probably the most known Amicus horror film, of course, from the great EC Comics. We are unfortunately too young to remember them, but we do know them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie and say, I remember picking up EC Comics.
Nope.
Well, only in our late 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
But Tales from the Crypt definitely went on to inspire an all-inspiring 7th season HBO show, which we love as well. Yes, which we love as well. But this one, this is the movie. And this is a really, really great movie. Patrick McKee. The story, well, there's two stories that stick out. They're all great. Of course, All Through the House, which... the
Santa Claus.
Yeah, the killer inmate Santa Claus that terrorizes
which, of course,
Joan Collins.
Which, of course, in the first season of Tales from the Crypt, actually, they did remake that.
That was their pilot episode, I believe.
They kind of remade that, so...
Which is really cool.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next one was... there's that one where the dude comes back from the dead after he gets in an accident, comes back, and nothing's quite the same, and he's decayed and rotted and shit. That's cool. But Arthur Grimsdyke with the Peter Cushing story of the Valentine's Day, that one is so fucking great. I absolutely love that short.
Oh, yeah.
Peter Cushing had a really tough time when this movie was made. His wife, unfortunately, died, I believe, during the filming of this or shortly before. So he was really down in the dumps about that. And he portrayed that Grimsdyke character where the townspeople turn against him when he's such a great man that makes these toys for the local children and stuff. And this asshole wants him off the block because he thinks that he's filth. And he gives the neighborhood a bad name. And he's all fucking filthy rich and shit. This guy is, and he doesn't like Arthur Grimsdyke, so he sends him all these Valentine's Day cards that say the worst shit you can think of, like, you were cruel from, why don't you drown yourself or whatever, I don't know it offhand, but yeah.
Bad shit.
And it depresses him so much with the death of his wife and the kids not coming over for toys anymore that he makes. And it's just really sad to see him go through that, because that actually really is, based on reality, because he really was that during that time in his career. And he comes back as this awesome zombie. He's on the cover, right? You can't see that. But yeah, Arthur Grimsdyke is a great character. And then the last short was Patrick McKee, pretty much turning the tables on this guy that takes over this old folks' home. It's a great it's a great fucking awesome revenge story. But Tales from the Crypt, yeah, that's where it all started. Taken from EC Comics. And then right after that, we have Vault of Horror. This was a great one. I always thought the painter in this with that fro kind of looked like Bob Ross.
Happy little shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Happy little horror tale. Yeah, this is a great one. Just another classic example of how Amicus did these great horror anthologies. Definitely. That was a good one. Here's another one. And now the Screaming starts from, I believe this is 72? Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is a good one, also starting...
73.
Oh, okay. This is...
well, that was 72, 73, what gives a damn, huh?
Like I said, we're not fucking experts. We're not using cue cards, alright?
No, we're looking at you.
And now the Screaming starts. This is a really good one. About this Fen Griffin, I believe his name. Yeah, the Curse of the Fen Griffins. Herbert Lom's character tortures and kills this guy on his wedding night, and he comes back from the dead basically, and just makes a curse to anyone who lives in that castle. It's called Fen Griffin Curse. Comes back as this fucking awesome ghost with no eyes. It's really cool. Like, he has no eyes, seriously. He has no eyes. It's fucking awesome. He peers at the window, and it's...
Face at the window.
Yeah, it's really creepy, actually. It's a really creepy movie. The last scene where her husband is desecrating the graveyard, where Peter Cushing is just like, oh dear.
Oh, dear.
That's a pretty cool scene. Yeah, that's a good one. And after that, we have From Beyond the Grave. From Beyond the Grave is
74.
From 74. Make it cool. This is a good one, man. This one stars Peter Cushing again, obviously, but it also has Donald Pleasance. And what's really cool about this movie is Donald Pleasance's actual real life daughter. What the hell's her name? Mrs. Pleasance. I don't know. It doesn't say her name. Sorry. Anyway, yeah. Anywho, what's fucking funny is his daughter looks just like him. Like, she has the same face, the round face, the cheeks, like Donald Pleasance, and she's a really beautiful woman. I don't know what she's doing. I don't think I've ever heard her name
in a movie.
After that. I don't know if she became an actress or not, but she does a nice role with her father, which I think is really cool. This is a really good one. Ooh, we get some Vinnie Price here.
Vinny.
Madhouse from, let's see,
74?
74. Yes. This is a good one about a horror actor named Dr. Death, played by...
Great name.
Not the WWF Dr. Death.
No.
Not Jim Ross's boy. But, Peter Lorre. Peter...
Well,
Vincent Price. Wow.
Price, yes.
Vincent Price, yes.
Holy shit.
Yes, that was a bad one.
Yikes.
That'll be an outtake. But, yeah, he plays this horror actor that doesn't want to quite go back to the Dr. Death roles, because I made him famous, but he doesn't want to relive the role because every time he he does the role, people die. Go figure. So he doesn't want to do it, and there's a twist ending. Peter Cushing, excellent performance, and it's really cool to see him and Vincent Price work together. It really is cool because they have a really good time, and kind of like Lee and Cushing.
Yeah.
So it's a very good.
He definitely had that.
Rob Zombie. If you guys know Hellbilly Deluxe, Rob Zombie's first record, there's an intro called Call of the Zombie before Super Beast starts, and there's a snippet from this movie. That's really cool.
Well, Mr. Know it all about the music, huh?
Oh yeah, I know everything. Not. I don't even know the fucking years. The Beast Must Die. This is a really cool one. This is kind of when they started hanging up their shoes, which really sucks, because Amicus is a really cool company, I think. They made a lot of really unique movies. But the unique thing about this one is there's this guy that invites all these these people, including Peter Cushing, of course, to his secluded house, because one of them in the room is a werewolf, and he's a hunter. And the only thing he's never hunted in his life, he's fucking buffalo, lions, tigers, and bears.
Yes, oh my!
But he's never hunted a werewolf. Have you? I haven't. Whatever. But
Sasquatch, but
I never hunted Bigfoot either. But this is a really cool movie, good atmosphere also. Anton Diffring is in it. Anton Diffring was a good Hammer star as well. This is a really good one. Like I said, it's kind of when they were trying to wind it down, I guess, which is unfortunate. And then the last one, and actually I just checked, this is actually not even technically an Amicus production film, but it is a production. I think they produced it or some shit. I don't know. But I thought it would be appropriate to include it. It's called Tales That Witness Madness. Peter, is he in this one? No, Joan Collins of Tales from the Crypt, and also Donald Pleasance again is in this one, directed by Freddie Francis, who did a lot of these great British horror films, even Hammer films as well. Yeah. But yeah, those are our Amicus Tribute. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got a lot out of it. You guys
definitely got to check them out. If you guys like Hammer films, the Gothic stories,
they're really fun.
Check out Amicus.
Like I said, if one story doesn't suit your can of peas, maybe the next one will. You know, that's what's really fun about horror anthologies. Even all horror anthologies are fun. So, all
right, guys, we're gonna come back. We're gonna wrap this up for our Paranormal Amicus episode. Let me go find the beer ski. All right, guys, we'll be back. Let's go kill something, guys. Cheers. We'll be back.
Deal.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to episode 24 from Descent into Horror Hell. Hope you really enjoyed it. I know it took a little bit, but we definitely had a blast doing that. Of course, the Amicus tribute as well. Talk about Hammer films. So, I guess what's coming up? We got episode 25, the big monumental episode. It's going to be something like you've never seen before on any Horrorcast, podcast, whatever. This is going to be fun as shit. It's going to be a lot for us in our studio. It's going to be a lot of editing. Basically, it's a collaboration episode of the past 24 episodes. You guys are not going to want to miss that. It's going to be a ton of fun, a lot of outtakes, a lot of just fun. So definitely not going to want to miss that one. It's probably going to be a little bit longer, which obviously I think if you watch this by now, you realize that we don't dabble in like 10-minute videos. So we hope you guys again enjoyed this one. With that being said, I am Ghoul.
I'm Skid Gore, and we'll see you guys next time around. Thank you very much for supporting us. We'll see you next time on Descent into Horror.